Why haven't the Niners prioritized the backup quarterback position with more urgency, knowing Jimmy is injury prone? I mean, they said they would.
Because nobody prioritizes the backup quarterback position more than 49ers fans.
And you can't spend big money on the backup spot when you're spending big money on the starting spot. I mean, we've talked about the percentages. You can't do that.
Sense, right? It doesn't make sense. The reason Cleveland's able to pay Case Keenum is because Baker Mayfield makes biscuits.
Yes, and the Raiders, they spent a lot of money on Marcus Mariota last year, and they spent a good chunk of money on Derek Carr. It wasn't the best plan, and you saw they got rid of Marcus Mariota. So, yeah, I think the only way you splurge on a backup is if your quarterback is cheap, and that's not Jimmy.
No, the funnier thing to me is that they've also spent a lot of marketing money on trying to promote Marcus Mariota as the biggest trade piece this offseason. Like, what?
But what he's saying here is they have let some good backups walk. Let's be specific. They didn't go after Mitchell Trubisky.
But none of those guys are backups, right? Andy Dalton's starting somewhere. Ryan Fitzpatrick is the presumptive starter in Washington.
Trubisky's a
Mitchell
backup.
Trubisky is the only one. And to me, it feels like Trubisky just chose the best possible situation for himself. Trubisky has a massive accuracy problem.
Explain this.
Well, people thought Josh Allen had.
Yeah, exactly.
People thought Josh Allen had a massive accuracy problem. And then what happened? He improved. So I think Trubisky, one, looked at the Bills as a place where he can improve that. And two, and this is just me kind of speculating here, but I think this is a decent kind of thought process. Brian Daboll, I think, is going to be a head coach next year. He's going to get a head coaching job. And I don't know if Mitchell Trubisky is this sly, but if he is, credit to him. I think he took the $2 million to go to Brian Daboll, make sure Brian Daboll likes him, right? If Brian Daboll likes him, like if Brian Daboll likes the way he works, and there's a good impression, next year when Brian Daboll gets a head coaching job, he might bring Mitchell Trubisky with him because he's still young. He still has the physical traits to be a starter. He just lacks confidence and accuracy, two of the more important things that quarterbacks need. But if he's able to gain those two things and he's comfortable with Daboll and Daboll is comfortable with him, Trubisky might be a starter in a much better environment when he might be able to start in a much better environment when he starts again.
It's more of a restart there. Whereas you come to the Niners, like they're not like, what's the future there for you? Kyle's not going anywhere.
And if Jimmy goes down, they're going to be right there in the middle of a playoff race. And if Trubisky doesn't play well, he's done. That's it. His time in the league, the way people think of him.
Look, I said that I think the Niners are going to go quarterback in round 3. I don't know which quarterback that'll be. I don't know if Davis Mills will be available. It's starting to talk like he's going to be a round 2 pick. I don't know if Kellen Mond will be available. It's starting to seem like he could be a round 1 pick. So it could be someone that everyone's expecting to be a round 5 or 6 pick who's just magically picked in round 3, kind of the way Beathard was. But I don't know if Kyle has the – I mean, why do that when you have Josh Rosen on the roster? Man, don't do that. With Watson's issues, we need quarterback with our first, trade up or back. Don't matter. We got to get someone we're comfortable starting by trade deadline. I don't know, man. Maybe
it's not someone starting by the trade deadline. You can't have a 2 quarterback season with the players they have. It's got to be one starter for 16 games or 17.
1981, Bill Walsh went DB, Super Bowl. We don't do that. Edge, cornerback, wide receiver. Quarterback, Kyle won't wait 3 rounds to get his piece. LOL. We draft up. Front, Grant's on fire today. Thank you. What I don't really look. I sort of understood that text.
I didn't understand it one bit.
I just
understood that this guy complaining that Kyle won't do what Bill Walsh did, and he's with me that he wants to go DB.
No, it's a good point. That part, the whole thing. I appreciate you. Well, all I'm saying is what he's pointing out is that in 1981 they went DB1. That was Ronnie Lott. The second pick was a nose tackle, John Hardy. But the third pick, Eric Wright, starting corner on that team. Fourth pick,
damn good one,
Williamson. Right? Yeah, hell of a player. Third pick, Carlton Williamson, starting safety for that team. They did what you're saying to do. And if you look at what the Buccaneers did this past season, winning the Super Bowl, they had a lot of youth in the secondary. The secondary is the kind of position, the kind of place where you want as many 22 and 23-year-old dudes as possible because it's all about speed and reaction and all that stuff.
Right.
So, I'm into it. I like
defense, it. Right. The Niners like the older veteran cornerbacks because they ask them to play zone, so they just want them to play smart and clean, and they prefer that. But I think that their defense is evolving a little bit. I think it evolved last year. And I don't even look at those guys and say they need to start the way those guys did in 1981 because the Niners have a starting secondary. Jimmy Ward, Jaquaski Tart, Jason Verrett will start week 1 without fail unless there is a injury that occurs. So because of that, I personally just think that just draft guys for basically you need guys you can develop for the future. And instead of developing a 6th round pick in Tim Harris, who seems to be someone that you can't really rely upon to be a starter next year, why not draft a guy with high end physical traits in round 2 or round 3 or round 1 and develop him?
Yeah, real quick. Rich says, Grant, swarm in Levi's and tell Shanahan to give you a raise and flip the page on Garoppolo. Next chapter equals Super Bowl. Rich, I wish I could, but Joe Montana has gone on the record saying the Niners need to turn the page and get some youth at the quarterback position. If Kyle won't listen to Joe, as much as he loves my Mondays with Vish and my YouTube channel, I just don't think I'm going to be able to get through to him. But Rich, I'll keep trying. I'll wear my 501s. I'll swarm into Levi's and I'll see what I can do. I'll wear the right pair of Levi's because that matters.